All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. Excitement is in the air as this weekend brings with it wild card time in the National Football League. 6 games spread out over 3 days, and you have 12 teams who are looking to compete, give it all in the hopes to get to the divisional round. But who will it be? We'll have to wait and see. But with that said, here are my picks for wild card weekend here in the National Football League. Now, things are going to get started tomorrow afternoon in the Queen City as you're going to have the Cincinnati Bengals, champions of the AFC North, clashing with Las Vegas Raiders. Now, these two teams did meet earlier this season in Vegas, and it was the Bengals who got the best of the silver and black. Now, Cincinnati rested quarterback Joe Burrow last week as he after he dinged up his knee in the previous week in a victory over the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Bengals are hopeful that that rest will allow Burrow to be as sharp as he can possibly be tomorrow as Cincinnati looks to win their first playoff game since January of 1991. Now, on the flip side for the Raiders, it's been an up and down year for them on and off the field, but they found a way, they stuck together, and they've made the postseason. One thing for me that worries me going into this game for the Raiders is where is their energy level going to be? And I know that this is the playoffs, but nonetheless, the Raiders played the last game of the regular season last Sunday night, a home game versus the Chargers. That game went the distance. It came down to the final play in overtime. And I mean, the Raiders and Chargers both left it out on the field. It was a very intense game. Arguably, by some people, it was the greatest game of the year. But nonetheless, where do the Raiders come from here? I know this is a playoff game. I know that the intensity has to be there. But where's the Raiders' mindset? How much more do they have left in the tank? We got to wait and see. The Raiders' pass rush, led by Max Crosby, they've got to find a way to get after Joe Burrow. And if they don't do it, they could be in for a long afternoon slash evening in Cincinnati. On the flip side, Derek Carr, this is his first playoff game because if you remember when the Raiders made the postseason a few years ago, Derek Carr got hurt late in that regular season, and he was not available for the Raiders in their postseason loss to the Houston Texans. So this is the first go around for Derek Carr in the playoffs as well. This is going to be an up and down, back and forth game. Both teams are looking to win their first postseason game in a very long time. The Raiders, you have to go back to January of 2003 when they beat the Titans in the AFC Championship game to find the last time that the Raiders won a playoff game. It's going to be nip and tuck throughout. I think the Paul Brown Stadium is going to be rocking, but I'm going to take the Bengals at home in this one by the score of 31-27. Now, tomorrow night in Orchard Park, you're going to have the Buffalo Bills taking on the New England Patriots. Both of these teams are very familiar with each other. Buffalo beat the Patriots out by 1 game to win the AFC East. Both times that these teams met this year, it was the road team that won. Now, during the first matchup in Orchard Park on Monday Night Football, the Patriots did it by only attempting 3 passes throughout the game as they relied on their running game and their defense. And then, of course, in the rematch, we saw the Bills open it up on offense to get the best of New England. Game time temperatures at the start tomorrow night are a balmy 6 degrees, which means that you know what? You're going to have a strong arm as a quarterback, and you're also going to have to run the football. So you look at this, and I know that some people are going to say, well, Patriots quarterback Mac Jones did not play well coming down the stretch of the regular season. He might have hit the rookie wall. Teams basically are saying, you know what, Mac Jones, you're going to have to beat us in the pocket with your arm. Now, Mac Jones won't be phased by this stage because you figure this is what you go to Alabama for. You play for national championships. You play in front of 80 and 90,000 people every week in the Southeastern Conference. So that part of it won't phase him. But Mac Jones is going to have to make some plays from the pocket with his arm in this one. On the flip side for the Bills, Josh Allen. This is what you got him for. You drafted him in the first round a few years ago. He's a cold weather quarterback, and this is what you got to do. I look at it like this: the Bills had a few fans in the stands last year when they ended their playoff drought. This time around, they are going to have a stadium full of people, and that place is going to be rocking. I think this is going to be a back and forth affair. Both of these teams are so familiar with each other due to the fact that they play each other twice a year. Bill Belichick, one of the greatest, if not the greatest head coaches to do it, got to the playoffs once again, but it's going to be tough for Belichick and the Patriots in this one, as I'm going to give the experience factor and the edge to the Bills, as I'm going to take Buffalo by the score of 24-20. Now, moving on to Sunday, you're going to have the Philadelphia Eagles taking on the defending Super Bowl champions, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's going to be 67 degrees at game time down in Tampa. The Bucks come into this game favored by 8.5 points, but it's a lot of things that you cannot look over in this game. First and foremost, this is the first time that Tom Brady is facing the Eagles in the playoffs since the Super Bowl 52 loss. Obviously, a lot has changed. Tom Brady's no longer with the Patriots. And of course, there is so much roster overhaul from the Eagles during that time to now. It's not even funny. But I tell you like this: being the cerebral assassin that we've seen Tom Brady be over the years, I guarantee you he has not forgotten about that game. However, with that said, the Eagles are always a tricky team, and it's not just this current version of the Eagles under Nick Sirianni. You go back to the Andy Reid days, the Doug Peterson days, the Buddy Ryan days, the Rich Kotite days, even the Dick Vermeil days. The Eagles are one of those teams that you never want to see coming down the stretch of the regular season, and you never want to see them in the playoffs, because the Eagles are a team, they could simply be a thorn in your side. And I think that's what we're going to see Sunday afternoon. Why? Because you're looking at this Eagles team led by quarterback Hurts. They're playing with house money. Nobody expected the Eagles to be here in year one of their rebuild. Nobody expected them to be here with Jalen Hurts as their quarterback. But the Eagles are here. They are for real, and the Bucks need to pay attention to them. Defensively, what Tampa's going to have to do, they're going to have to stop the Eagles on first and second down, keep them in third and long, and make Jalen Hurts one-dimensional. Now, on the flip side for the Eagles defensively, they've got to try to find a way to get to Tom Brady. And I know that, people are going to say, well, they no longer have Antonio Brown, but I think last week showed that the Bucks are okay on offense without Antonio Brown. Rob Gronkowski, arguably the best tight end to ever play football, he's going to be out there. You have Mike Evans. Defensively, the gang's all back for the Bucks, so to speak, with Shaq Barrett, JPP. They're starting to get healthy, and they want to make that Super Bowl run once again. This is why the Bucks took less money. This is why everybody said we got to come back here and run it back. And the Bucks are going to be up for the challenge. They're going to have to work in this one, but I'm going to take Tampa Bay at home by the score of 34-24. Now, on Sunday afternoon, you're going to have the San Francisco 49ers clashing with the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas comes into this game favored by a field goal, and there are some people that feel that this has the potential to be the best game of the weekend. You look at the way that the 49ers play defense, and if they can get pressure with their front four led by Nick Bosa, it could give trouble to quarterback Dak Prescott and this Cowboys offense. The 49ers also run the football effectively with Debo Samuel, and he's an all-purpose guy that you always have to account for. Jimmy Garoppolo as the 49ers starting quarterback, you never know what you're going to get from Jimmy G. It's either feast or famine. We saw that last week versus the Rams, as it was a tale of two halves for the 49ers. So, they are the ultimate wild card, no pun intended. For Dallas, they're 12-5, but they're 6-5 against everybody who's not in the NFC East. And you're also looking at the fact that Dallas is really beating up on some of the bad teams in the NFL as compared to some of the good teams. So this is an opportunity for the Cowboys to shed that reputation that they've had here in 2021. I look at it like this: this is going to be a back and forth affair. Turnovers, field position, which team is going to buckle, so to speak, in this one. The last team with the football wins, I think it's the 49ers, and I'm going to take them by the score of 27-24. Now, on Sunday night, you're going to have the Pittsburgh Steelers traveling to Kansas City to take on the defending AFC champions in the Chiefs. And Pittsburgh comes into this game. They are a heavy underdog. They were the last team to get into the postseason, and it came down to the end of the Raiders Chargers game on Sunday night, and that's when we knew that the Steelers were going to get in. You look at the Steelers; they've not been healthy all season long, but you look at it right now. You still have a savvy veteran at quarterback in Ben Roethlisberger, and I know that this is it for Big Ben. You've seen him play during the year, and you could see that the skills have diminished from what they once were. However, this guy is still crafty and he knows how to get it done. You look at the Steelers receiving core, they can hurt you or they can hinder you if you're the Steelers. We've seen the likes of Chase Claypool come up and make big plays. We've seen the likes of Deontay Johnson come up and make big plays. You also have to keep an eye on tight end Pat Fryermuth. On the flip side, you look at the Steelers defense and they have talent at each level. TJ Watt, he's in the zone this season as far as rushing the passer. And if you're Kansas City and you focus too much on TJ Watt, you have the likes of Cam Hayward coming at you. You also have Devin Bush. You look at this secondary led by Minka Fitzpatrick. So it's a situation we've seen in the past. What gives Kansas City's offense problems? Teams that can rush the passer. That's what the Steelers do, and I think that is going to give them an opportunity to stay in this game. Also, it's going to hurt Kansas City that Clyde Edwards-Helaire is not going to be available for this game, so that really takes away from their run game in this one. I think Pittsburgh has to find a way to seize the moment because if you let Patrick Mahomes get into a rhythm, you could be in for a very long night. The Steelers, they know they're underdogs. They know they're big time underdogs in this one. And I think they find a way to rally around that. And I'm going to take the Steelers to upset Kansas City by the score of 24-23. And finally, on Monday night, yes, a Monday night playoff game that's not rescheduled. It's originally scheduled for Monday night. You're going to have the Arizona Cardinals traveling to take on the Los Angeles Rams. It's the Rams' first playoff game in their new stadium, SoFi Stadium, out in Inglewood. Another meeting between division rivals. You look at this one, just like it was with the Patriots and Bills, the road team won both games this season. The Rams let a golden opportunity go by last week and losing at home to the 49ers, and now they got to try to find a way to rally. Matthew Stafford, the Rams quarterback, he's looking for his first playoff win. And you have to wonder, is he ready for the spotlight? He got to the playoffs several times with the Lions, and he just couldn't get it done. We've seen Stafford struggle down the stretch, 8 interceptions in his last 4 games, and that's not going to get it done in the postseason. You look at this game right now, I think what the Rams have to play off of is the fact that the Cardinals are very dinged up. They were hopeful to have wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins back for this one. He's not going to be available, and that's important because a healthy DeAndre Hopkins keeps cornerback Jalen Ramsey busy. Now you're going to have Jalen Ramsey on AJ Green, and that opens it up for the rest of the secondary. So a guy like Christian Kirk could still give this Rams secondary a problem. Also, a big one. JJ Watt was hopeful to go, but it looks like JJ Watt is not going to be available in this one. And if you go back earlier this season when the Cardinals beat the Rams in Los Angeles, JJ Watt was a factor in this game. Now, this Rams defense, they're going to have to be patient and disciplined in trying to slow down quarterback Kyler Murray for the Cardinals. That's going to be the factor in this game. Can they contain Kyler Murray? If they can find a way to do that and keep him off of his rhythm, the Rams should win this game. Like I said, the road team won both games during the regular season, but I think things change in this one. And I'm going to take Los Angeles at home by the score of 34-20. So, folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take the time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it'll be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. You can check it out. Drop a line and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So, once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin. I'm signing off, saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.